Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of
Yo, how
Elevate.
you just gonna start 100? 100. I need some more excitement from you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate, where we strengthen our relationships so we can elevate our lives.
Let's get it. Yo, episode 100.
Episode 100. Here we are.
It took us a few weeks to get here.
I don't-
Kind of fucked up at the end, but
I don't think you guys know what we're about to say. Would you like to start this conversation?
yeah, how has been your journey? What have you learned throughout these 100 episodes?
What have you learned?
How you just
Why
tell
do
me?
I always have to start?
You just said, do you want to start a conversation? I'm starting.
Yeah, exactly. Start
Let's
the
go.
conversation. I didn't say ask me a question.
Let's go.
What have I learned? I've learned that
100 episodes ago, well, 99 episodes ago, we was in our couch in our living room with all the equipment in the front, trying to figure out how the hell this thing works
on our coffee table.
on our coffee table. And now we're here in a 2,500 square foot studio.
That's not just for our podcast, but we record our podcast
But
here
we're
as
here.
well. Yeah, it's been wow. We made some pretty crazy decisions. I mean, we started in, if you've been on our journey with us, we started on that little studio space our first small studio that we got.
And we started in the living room. That's where
We started in the living room, but we moved to a small studio space, and then we moved here
And that small studio
within
space
100 episodes.
was all because of the podcast. If it wasn't for the podcast, we would have definitely not done that.
No.
And that was probably like around the 40th episode or so. Probably we made that jump.
Yeah.
Now 100, we're here.
Yeah. And our mindset totally shifted. It kind of gave us the confidence we needed to
We actually elevated.
we did. And that's that small decision, right, to just separate, because it was first the thought about us separating our recordings of our podcast from our home environment. Like, we wanted to treat it like a real business, and separate it from our home, because it just feels different. Like, you actually recording a podcast in an actual studio that's set up for that is way different than you just recording it at home. And so we knew we needed that separation, and that one step to just separate it opened up so many other possibilities in our mind.
Yeah, that was wild. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. But we've always had like these dreams, right? For a long time, even before we started a podcast. I can say they actually started when we started our YouTube channel for me, right? Like, everything just started evolving. Like, it was supposed to be for me, for makeup. Then all of a sudden he's getting into camera gear, and he starts learning a lot about like different cameras because he wants to help me, right? Which he was at that point. But then it became a family vlogging channel, and we got into that once I came out pregnant with Zena, and we figured we wanted to like share a little bit of our journey and stuff. People really enjoyed us doing the family vlogs when I was pregnant with Zena. And that's actually one of the reasons why we have so many subscribers today that aren't really converting for our podcast, because we used to do a different type of video.
Yeah.
But then along that journey, we grew up. I mean, my daughter Zena is now 6 years old. And we've just evolved, I would say, fairly quickly.
I do give a lot of thanks to the podcast, though. Like, I don't want to say like the support of the podcast. Yes, we appreciate everybody that support us. But the numbers, in all reality, that we've gotten from the podcast has not really taken us anywhere. Financially, completely honest, we have made no money from the podcast.
Yeah.
No money. Let's say we've made $500. It doesn't even cover the amount of equipment I bought for the podcast. So, and not even talk about the rent we have spent. Yeah. So financially, the podcast has made 0 cents financially
for us so far. Yes,
but it has taken us here.
Yeah.
Because although I feel like we did have ambitions and we did have dreams, we didn't know how we was going to get it. We were still trying to figure it out. And then just starting the podcast made us take those little steps.
Right.
So
it placed us.
I appreciate this podcast a lot.
Yeah. I'm saying the way I look at it now is like it served and it's still serving its purpose. Right? Like we sit here, we kind of like give therapy for each other, you know, and we, some of you have also shared with us that it's like therapy for you guys as well. And those words from, you know, even if it's like 10 of you guys, like mean so much to us.
Yeah.
Because like I've said it in the beginning of the podcast, it does not matter whether we touch 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, it's still someone that's listening the message and getting something positive out of it, which is the entire point of it. And we also recognize like the not importance, but
the impact
that a YouTube channel can have, because these episodes are going to be here
for
forever until, I mean, maybe if YouTube, you know, I don't know, disappears, which I don't think it's going to happen, but it's going to be here on this channel indefinitely.
Yeah.
And so whether it is today, whether it's in 2 years, whether it is in 5 years, the message is going to get to someone at some point, you know, in any given time.
Yeah. And
so
we're
still valuable.
And completely honest, like this podcasting is very hard.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, especially to the level that I guess I want to produce it, because I'm very like, I enjoy that stuff. So it takes a lot of my time, and just sitting down recording it is a whole process in itself, but the post process of it, and due to the fact that we don't make money from it, which we kind of knew was going to be a long game, but we are feeling that it takes too much time for the effort, and we got to make money, guys.
Yeah.
So
this is where we are currently. It's like that battle of like, we know we want to put in all the time to this, but right now it just doesn't make sense. We can't, like, we have another business within this that needs to be taken care of on a daily and requires our attention in order for it to keep staying afloat. We got rent due, you know, like we have the light, like all these services that we have for editing, for subscriptions, right? That need to be paid off on a monthly basis. That is a lot of expense. And thank God we have made it this far. It's about to be a year that we open. That's crazy.
Well, it's been a year that we've opened, like that we've opened up to the public has been, and we're talking about, like, for our new listeners, our current studio that we also rent to creatives. Follow us on Instagram at Booktunnel Studio. If you're in the New York area, we rent it. You'll see all the information on there.
But that is crazy. Like, it's been a year. It's been a year, and thank God we've always been able to pay rent, right? And we've been blessed. Honestly, we are not, again, where we want to be, but we're getting there. And it's just right now we're at the point where we're good. We're sustaining ourselves, but that is not enough anymore.
Yeah, and the thing with these episodes is that sometimes, let's say we put a lot of effort into an episode, right? And we feel like we had like a really good conversation. There's so much behind the episode. Like, if the thumbnail sucks, like, ain't nobody clicking it and YouTube is not sharing it. If the title doesn't match what you're talking about, or like just it doesn't hit the algorithm, like we got 50 views and it's like, damn, 3 days of work, let's say, to produce one full episode, like coordinating the kids and this and that for like 50 views. Can we impact some people 100%? And that's probably what kept us going the
this
most.
far, yeah.
Because every time we were like, yo, we get like this long ass Instagram message like,
no,
you guys are like changing my life. We're like, damn, bro.
I'm like, and that's what's meaningful about it. You know, it's like it gives you like some sort of purpose. And, you know, I've shared before here that I love to be able to share, like what we go through, and whether it's in regarding relationships or our business or, you know, kids. I love to be able to share these things because I do feel like we have a really great family dynamic. And I feel like, especially now in these days, is important to share. But we're at a point where it's like we have to choose.
Yeah, and then
how we spend our time.
Like more behind the scenes stuff that people don't even know that goes onto it. So I had hired a YouTube coach the beginning of this year because I was like, this year, like the podcast, like we either figuring it out or we're gonna have to pivot. Paid a ton of money that I didn't have for it, and things that I learned, like it's not things that I didn't know already. It's just like I guess I needed that coaching to like activate me. But
reaffirmation.
But one main thing that he wanted us to do was to niche down, because we was kind of like broad and touching different subjects, into more family, marriage, relationships. So we've been doing that. You guys noticed the transition from like the beginning of the year to now. So 5 months. We got a little bit of results in the beginning doing the different thing, and you guys saw clips and all that. Again, once you incorporate clips and stuff, the production days just increase on top of everything else that we have going on. And if this was making money, it wouldn't be a problem. But the problem is that it's not. So we did that. And now I feel like those episodes are not even touching what we used to touch. So
yeah, I mean, he was very clear that we needed to give it at least a year.
Yeah, but I don't know. He said niche down and then keep expanding. Like, I don't know if you guys notice, whoever always listens to us, like one day we'll talk about business, or we have different people on. Like, for example, like we had a great podcast episode with Juju. And like, that was not like a marriage or anything thing. And it did really good. And it was an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like, damn, we're giving those conversations up to niche down and please the algorithm. And it's like, I actually enjoyed that more than whatever the algorithm is giving me. You understand?
Yeah. But so the thing is, we would love, I know whoever's listening is like, okay, get to the point. Like, what's happening? Are you guys stopping this? So the thing is, we would love to do this even twice a week. Like, we would love to do it even more than we're currently doing it, which is once a week. But it doesn't make sense for us right now.
Yeah, everybody's like, yo, what the fuck?
It doesn't make sense. We would love to do that, and we would love to pay an editor. We would love to have someone on our team that can like help us, you know.
Which we have. I spent money on.
You have, but you can't do it consistently at this point.
I spent money on people editing thumbnails. I spent money on people editing. We need someone shorts.
Consistently. Like if we were to do this full time, not give up on it right this moment, we would need someone full time on board helping us with thumbnails. And don't message me because
I don't have the money to pay you.
That's the problem. That's the problem. We understand how valuable that work is, and we would love to have the funds to pay someone to do that and help us with that. That is the ideal. And that is what we're working for, right? We're going to be working towards that. And now I know you guys are thinking, okay, so now they're going to give up. Okay. We have decided that we're going to take a brief break because we need to focus on our business.
Yes, but before you say that, we posted 100 episodes, and within those 100 episodes, which is 100 weeks, I will say that we only missed a few weeks, especially like the last few. It was just like YOLO. But
it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And my daughter's.
But it wasn't like we was just like, we committed those 100 weeks. Like we made it happen.
We did.
So even if some were like a few hours late or maybe the next morning, like, but we made it happen. So
we definitely did. And
going back to what you were saying about we're focusing on the business.
We're focusing on our actual business, the one that's actually bringing us money, because we already know how we can make money in that business. We have it clear. We have the skills. We know what we have to do. And in order for it to escalate to the next level, we just have to pay more time and attention to it. So this is why we have to kind of step back a little bit with the recordings of the podcast.
I think
Because
I'm
the
seeing
podcast
it,
is not giving us money at this point.
but I'm seeing it as a season 2,
Yeah.
like episode 100 to 200.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm seeing it. Like, we want to take a break. We want to, I don't know, maybe rebrand, come up with some other cool ideas, see exactly what we're gonna do. Maybe in that break we will record and edit, and maybe have like a backlog, because that was another thing that was a problem, that we was always like next
Trying to catch
episode.
up.
So maybe that will help. The break will probably be, I don't know, maybe a month, maybe 2.
Let's see how it goes
Mm-hmm.
with what we actually are going to be working with.
We're not quitting though.
We're not quitting. This is not a goodbye. This is a see you later. Okay. But please, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who committed every Monday or Tuesday, but just watched us every week. And either, left their comments down below or messaged us. Thank you. A special shout out to Michael Madre, who committed every week to listen to our podcast.
And everybody else, because there's a lot of people that do commit and like they don't comment, so we definitely appreciate.
Of course, but I'm just pointing out Michael Madre because she texts me and she always talks to me about the episodes. So I mean, it never went unnoticed. And everyone who has written to us on Instagram, and just kind of shares a little bit of how we've helped them in any way with their relationship, or as a mom, or with their kids, with their husbands, in any way, that means so much to us. And it always reinforced the thought of, okay, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
This is why we started this. And it's actually doing it. So I'm sorry we have to take a break, right?
We might, because if we got any followers from like the newer episodes, I might be editing some of the old one, like clips, and like populating during time. Don't quote me on that. I might totally not do that.
He totally might not, guys. Don't quote him on that,
But
because
I
he's
might.
gonna have a lot on his plate in these coming months.
Definitely.
He's gonna have a lot.
I
on
might.
His plate.
I might. I
don't
not.
even know why you're saying that.
I like to be honest with my people. keep them on edge.
But yeah.
So what do you have in mind? I mean, I know you don't have anything in mind, but what do you see like happening from episode 100 to 200?
I think that my thoughts at this moment, I don't know what the future holds, but I think that when we come back, we're going to come back stronger for sure, because that is the point of us taking a break, to actually focus so that we can bring in more income and be able to potentially have someone help us, with the podcast, because that is what we need in order for us to stay consistent, give you guys the best content, and just keep going strong. That's really what we're missing. And the only reason why we can't currently do that is because there's not enough funds. So we need to focus and buckle down so we can get those funds that we need.
We might go. I feel like I want to go broad again.
What do you mean?
Like not so.
Or like
niche.
with the topics?
Yeah, like because then it's easier to talk about. It's very hard, like niching down, because sometimes we're just like, okay, we need to find a topic that's like about marriage, about relationship, and I also feel like a lot of the people that follow us, maybe they're not married, or maybe they're divorced, or maybe they don't have kids, and it's like, bro, I don't want to listen to this every single week.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and it's easier to like, hey, if something happens, like we could talk about it on the podcast, and everybody is kind of aware of what's going on, and then also include like the marriage, because that's what we do. That's what we do out here.
Yeah. That is what we're foreseeing. Again, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know, right? But this is the plan. This is what we think is gonna happen. And estamos aquí, señores, con la gracia de Dios.
Yeah.
Just
follow us on Instagram. We got an Instagram, Jessica.Darwin. Maybe we focus a little bit more on that, because we kind of started it and then also forgot about it, because like, you ain't bringing money, you out.
Yeah.
If you ain't producing, you out.
It's yeah.
Who knows? Shit might change in 2 months, and maybe this shit is gone.
Shit might change in 1 month. Like, we just don't know. Like, it's. I don't want to make promises.
We promise we're not quitting though.
But this is what we think is going to happen, right? Like, again, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know where our paths might take us, because I mean, we didn't think we were going to be here.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's so many things that sometimes we have our own plans and God has different plans.
Yeah.
So I still think that this podcast is part of our plans. It's just not at its strongest state at this moment.
Yeah, we just gotta figure. Like, a lot of you know too. Like, I just quit my job 1 year ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of figuring it out.
Yes.
Find out and fuck around and find out.
It's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of people may look at it and say like, oh my God, you know, they're doing so well. Like, they have a studio and, you know, it's really dope. And yes, it is dope, but it's a lot of work that goes into this. A lot of hours, a lot of unpaid hours.
Yeah.
You know,
and a lot of people see like these podcasts going up all the time.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, oh, they're making money from it. Like, nah, bro.
No, not at all.
Not making shit.
Not at all.
So negative. This podcast is negative.
But you know, we listen to a lot of people that have way more experience than us in this field, and almost everybody says it takes a while. Like, this is a long ride. YouTube especially is a long ride. There are exceptions where people, you know, just take off quickly or go viral because of something, and they usually jump on that and just continue with that same kind of content. But for the most part, like, gaining a substantial, loyal, just really a community knit type of audience is a long-term game. Like, it's a really long-term game. And we were very aware of this from the very get-go. Again, the only reason why we feel like we need to take a pause is because we need to focus on the things that are actually bringing us money and make sure we're bringing enough of it so that we can survive and pay someone to help us with these podcasts so that we can continue to make them in an even better quality, bring you guys even more content, because we always want to give you guys more content. We just never have enough time.
Yeah. And who knows, like, maybe we're making good amount of money. The thing is, like all the businesses are just like treading on water.
Yeah.
Like, trying to survive. So it's like we're taking all this time to make something that's not making nothing.
Right.
Trying to even get above water.
Right.
And it's like, so is messing up like the other thing that is at least floating.
Yes.
So, you know, that's really, it's really like a business.
And you don't ever want to be in a business where you're just surviving.
Yeah.
That's not the point of you having your own business. You have to be able to, for the business to sustain itself, but for you to also be able to pay yourself. Like, that is the point. Like, there is no point in having a business where you're barely making it.
Especially to give something attention that's not doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't make logical sense. But yeah, I didn't think that we would be talking about this on our 100th episode. But I'm proud of us.
I mean, we didn't even know we was going to get to 100.
I'm proud that we're at 100. And I know we've gained some new people along the way. And again, I'm sorry. I don't mean to we don't mean to disappoint you guys at this point, but we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And yeah.
Porque tú no me pagas los biles.
You guys can follow us on Instagram. Like, we always update through there. And yeah, we're also on TikTok, but we really don't, it's not really about business or anything like that. We just be having fun there randomly at this point.
There was somebody that asked one question. I put a poll on Instagram and not many people answered. You're trash.
And I didn't have time to put the poll. I was doing mommy duties.
No, there was one that asked, will you be bringing more guests on?
We had some guests planned for this episode, but we just couldn't coordinate. You know, we just couldn't get together. And And this has happened to us with so many guests, like the coordination with people, trying to get together. They have busy schedules. We have busy schedules. It gets difficult sometimes.
That's why we just give up and just do it ourselves.
I hate to rely on other people to like record sometimes. I would love to have so many guests here, but sometimes people don't make the time and don't make you a priority. So what we gonna do? It is what it is.
People got lives too.
Yeah,
so
they have their own things.
You can't even.
We have our own things. It's frustrating, but I understand it at the same time.
And also because it's not like there's a benefit to coming on the podcast. So it's like they really, it's just cool. It's just like a connection. Like it's not even, but it's definitely not easy. Even in the other studio, it wasn't as easy to coordinate.
Yeah.
But we got this. We've been holding this down.
Yeah. I'm excited for what's to come. Again, if you guys want to follow us along, don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Maybe I changed the set.
You changed what?
Maybe I changed the set for episode 100 to 200.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's deal with what we have going on at this current moment. This is why we get in trouble, Darwin Nunez. We cannot take more things than we can actually handle. Like, we need to buckle down. But yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. Follow us at Jessica.Darwin. And if you need a studio, at Book Turtle Studio.
Yes. Again, thank you so much for watching or listening. I feel sad. Like, I'm saying bye.
It's not biased.
I know.
It's just you're about to skip a few weeks.
Yeah.
Is that you usually do it and don't say bye? So you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But now you actually got to tell your people, look at them dead in the eye. Look at them right there to that camera. And tell them that you leaving them.
All right. That's it for today's podcast, you guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Until next time.
Peace. See you in episode 101.
Season 2.
Oh. Can I get a last smooch? Smooch for 100. Mwah.